my friends. Today we are going to make kinetic sand. It's going to be really neat. I love kinetic sand. It's so cool. We're going to make our homemade kinetic sand, and all you need is a tube of toothpaste and a cup of salt and just a little dab of oil. We're not going to need a whole lot of that. Now, Miss Cindy made a batch, and I used the whole tube of toothpaste and the whole canister of salt, but it got kind of out of hand. So as you can see in the picture, it went everywhere while I was trying to stir. It just got bigger and bigger and bigger. So we're just going to use a half of a tube of toothpaste. And you can really use any kind of toothpaste you would like, but I'm using Colgate. It has that consistency, you know, that stirs into it really well. So I'm going to kind of, you know, just kind of squeeze it in the middle there so I know where I'm going to stop. And if you want to use white toothpaste, you can do that. And then you can put just a dab of paint in there and you can make it any color you want. Miss Cindy is using blue-green toothpaste. That way I don't have to worry about putting the paint in it because it comes out a really pretty aqua sort of color. And guess what? That's Miss Cindy's favorite color. So here we go. I'm just squeezing the toothpaste into the bowl. And this is something that your little ones would enjoy doing. So you can let them do this part. Then you can help them just get the rest of it out, just the last bit of it. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. Now I have about a half a tube of toothpaste. Then I am going to pour in 1 cup of salt. Now you might want to pour it in a little at a time. I mean, you don't have to pour in a tiny bit. I'm going to pour in a good amount. I'll lift up the bowl so you can see. There we go. I'm just going to pour in about that much. Okay? That's about, I poured in about 1/4 of a cup at a time. And I'm just going to stir it into the toothpaste with my knife. Now, I'm using a knife because I used a spoon earlier, and this is kind of like chocolate chip cookie dough. You know how you make the cookie dough from scratch, and the more of the dry ingredients you put in, the harder it is to stir. So that's the way this is. The more salt you put in, the harder it gets to stir. So I'm stirring with a sturdy knife, okay? Okay, I'm gonna pour a little bit more. See that color, isn't that pretty? That's the Colgate color. Okay, I'm just gonna stir in a little bit more salt. And it's getting drier, you can see. Now we want it to be pretty dry, but we are going to add a little bit of oil to make it less sticky. Okay, because toothpaste is sticky. And it dries out pretty well with the salt, but it doesn't really take the stickiness away. So we're gonna add just a dab of oil to it. Okay, I'm gonna pour some more in here. We're just gonna make sure we mix it up really well. Okay, there you go. When Miss Cindy mixes things, even when she's baking or cooking, when she mixes things, they tend to go all over the place. So, trying to keep it in the bowl this time. But I just want to mix it in really good. And Mom and Dad, you're going to have to do it after it gets too hard to stir for your little one. But you can let your little one start it. They can start the stirring. Okay, have about 1/4 of a cup more to put in. So I'm going to pour the rest of my salt in. Whoa, there we go. Set that over there. Stir it in really good here. That's a lot of salt in there. Now, this will not hurt your children if they take a taste. It does smell pretty good. But, just so you're warned, it won't hurt them, but it might make them throw up. Because it's a lot of salt. When you eat a lot of salt, it makes you throw up. So, just so you know, if they play with their kinetic sand and then they start throwing up, it's probably because they tasted it. Alrighty, now I am going to get that good and stirred in. I'm going to add, whoops, there it went, see? I'm going to add just a little bit of oil here. I don't need very much. Not very much. Okay, let's see. I'm going to add just a little bit of oil there. There we go. And I'm going to stir that in as well to make it less sticky. Miss Cindy is using a glove simply because I don't like the way it feels when things get underneath my fingernails. So that's why I have a glove on, but you don't need a glove because you're not using paint or coloring or anything. So, alrighty, there we go. Look at that. We have kinetic sand. You see how it's moving? Look at that. That's what kinetic sand does. Isn't that cool? I'm going to put some kinetic sand in my little baking cup here. Just grab some, push it in there, get a little more, get it good and full. I'm gonna push it in to make my sides here. And I'm going to dump it out on the table. Oof, and look at that. It holds its shape. You can cut it like that, or you can smush it around with your fingers, and you have kinetic sand. And trust me, parents, this is a lot cheaper than buying it at the store because it's really expensive. And this is not hard to do at all. So you can mold it. There we go. Push it down. You can mold it. You can cut it into shapes. You can use cookie cutters to put shapes in it. Isn't that neat? I love kinetic sand. It's really cool. There you go. So, I want you to have fun with it, my friends. Okay? Send me some pictures of your kinetic sand. Look at that. Bye.